On the 25th of August 2013 in California, Leslie Jenea, a mother of 3 girls, found out that her husband, Todd Chance, was cheating on her with another woman known as Carrie Williams. She happened to be her husband's ex-fiancee, and they had reunited in 2012. So Leslie Jenea murdered her husband by shooting him in the chest twice. Was Todd's infidelity punishable by death? Join us as we unravel the events that led to the murder of Todd Chance. Todd Eric Chance was born on the 10th of March 1968 to his parents Diana Chance and Travis Chance. Todd had a younger brother called Scott. His parents were farmers, and so the family lived in a small farming town just outside Bakersfield in California in a city called Shafter. Todd and his brother Scott helped their parents in taking care of the family animals. This included pigs, horses, chicken, among others. Todd loved cars and guns from a young age, and he would regularly drive with his father in the off-road. So when he was old enough to drive on his own, his father gifted him a sporty blue '76 Cobra II car. Later on, Todd got engaged to his childhood sweetheart, a lady known as Carrie Williams. After being in a relationship for nearly a year, they were waiting forward to their wedding, which was about to take place soon. Unfortunately, Carrie found out that Todd was cheating on her with another woman. Their relationship got broken, and they ended up calling off their wedding. Todd found a job as a security guard of a drugstore in Bakersfield in California, and in the same year, he met another woman by the name of Leslie Jenea. Jenea worked as a cashier at the same drugstore where Todd was working. Jenea was a mother of a 7-year-old girl by the name of Jessica Bullman. Jenea was married, but unfortunately, she divorced her husband after finding out that he was cheating on her with another woman. Jenea, who was in custody of their daughter, became a single mother. When Jenea and Todd initially met, Jenea thought that Todd was a womanizer, therefore she was uninterested in him. She wanted a man who would cherish her. Todd really cared for Jenea and her daughter Jessica. He treated Jessica nicely like her own daughter, and Jenea changed how she felt about him. Their love relationship grew strong and they got married in the year 1996. Jenea and Todd were blessed with other 2 daughters named Samantha and Sarah. Therefore, they had 3 children in total. Jenea was doing her degree in teaching at that time, and she was working part-time in 3 different jobs. After receiving her certificate, she began working in administration at Fairview Elementary School. She then worked as a teacher and an academic coach. Jenea was promoted to the position of an assistant principal. Later, she became the principal of Fairview Elementary School. Her husband left his security guard job, and he got employed as a truck driver. He worked in the trucking industry for 15 years, and with his wife working as a principal, they had a good income. Their family was doing well, and they could afford to go to luxurious vacations. Later on in the course of their marriage, Todd Chance started cheating on his wife, Jenea, with another woman. The woman turned out to be Carrie Williams, who was Todd's ex-fiancee. Todd and Carrie would send each other flirty messages over the phone through Facebook Messenger. As if that was not enough, Carrie would send to Todd her explicit photos. These 2 ex-lovers got back together in the year 2012, and they were communicating through their phones. They had not met each other in person, and apparently Jenea had found about her husband's infidelity. Sometimes later, Todd's family went to a holiday in Las Vegas. They went to a CSI-themed crime exhibit, which is of course based on the popular TV show CSI. The crime exhibit show was popular and so many people would attend it. In this exhibit, there were a bunch of different crime scenes. For example, in one of the exhibit, the suspect used a payphone to avoid detection. And in another exhibit, the suspect changes the cloths to throw detectives off. And in another one, a woman actually kills her husband and disposes of the body in a deserted area. Weeks after returning from the family vacation, on the morning of 25th of August 2013, Jenea and her husband Todd Chance went for a drive. Todd was driving the vehicle and Jenea was seated at the passenger seat next to him. Her hair was tucked into a baseball cap and she was wearing large sunglasses. Jenea then withdrew a .38 caliber revolver gun. She shot Todd twice in the chest, with one of the bullets passing through his right hand before continuing into his chest, and both of the shots were made at a close range, and the fact that one of the shots had passed through his hand indicated that he had tried to hold his hand up by defending himself. Jenea then drove the car and dumped her husband's body in Almond Grove. She then drove the car to a nearby neighborhood. She cleaned the car with a disinfectant to get rid of evidences and then abandoned the car. She left the car and walked away carrying a red backpack. She walked into Starbucks, where she went into the bathroom and changed her clothes and shoes. In the plastic bag, she was carrying disinfecting wipes that she had used to clean up the car. She left the store and passed by Lowe, where she disposed off the evidence behind some bags of soil. She went to Walmart, where she used a payphone to call a cab. A few minutes later, the cab arrived and took her. She was dropped at their home. On the morning of 25th of August 2013, at 9:27 a.m., police were dispatched to Almond Grove, which was located in northwest Bakersfield, after some men who were working there informed them that they had found a dead body where they were working. The police found out that the deceased had been shot twice in the chest. Upon searching on his pocket, they found a wallet with money. The wallet also had the deceased identification number, which had an address on it. The deceased was identified as Todd Chance. A couple of feet away, they found Todd's cell phone. All of these evidences ruled out suicide and robbery as the possible cause of death. The investigators concluded that Todd was murdered. The investigators also noticed lack of blood, so this indicated to them that Todd was not killed in that area. Later that evening, the investigators went to Todd Chance's house and they found his wife, Jenea Chance. They informed her that her husband was murdered. She was behaving in a strange way. She was super calm and very collected, which made investigators suspicious. Everybody was shocked and devastated after learning of Todd's sudden death. The investigators questioned Leslie Jenea about the events that took place before her husband's death. She told the investigators that she was using her computer early in the morning while her children were asleep. One of the children confirmed that indeed she was in the house at 9 a.m. Her other daughter said she saw in the house at 10 a.m. The FBI took that computer and sent it for analysis. Analysis results came back and there was no activity on that computer until 11 a.m. in the morning. She told them that Todd and his father, Travis, went to a gun show that morning. The investigators later questioned Travis about the events that occurred at the gun show. Surprisingly, Todd's father denied meeting his son that morning. He said that they didn't spoke that day, neither did they went to the gun show. The investigators confirmed if there was actually a gun show taking place that morning. They found out that a gun show took place on east side of town, but Todd's body was found on the west side of town. The investigators asked her if Todd had any enemy, and the answer was no. She was asked if Todd was into drugs, and she said no. She was also asked if Todd owned a gun, and she answered yes. The police told her to go check if his gun was missing. When Jenea went to where Todd always keeps his guns, she found out that his .38 caliber revolver gun was missing. Jenea said she didn't know why he left with it, because usually he doesn't leave with his guns to go to the gun show. Investigators then asked her how Todd left the house early that morning. She told them that Todd left with his black 2011 Ford Mustang car. They asked her if anyone else drives the car besides Todd. Jenea told them that nobody drives that car apart from Todd. Not even she was allowed to drive it. She added that the car was Todd's baby and he was the only one who sits in the driver's seat. Investigators didn't find Todd with his car, so they began to search for the missing car. They began searching nearby areas for the car. Residents informed the police about the car. The car was discovered abandoned in southwest Bakersfield neighborhood, 20 miles away from where his body had been left. That neighborhood was known for criminal activities and drugs. They looked through the window of the car and saw the car keys on the ground of the car, which was unlocked. They found a .38 caliber revolver gun inside the car under the mat. They also found 2 bullet casings inside the car. The investigators did a forensic testing on the car, and they found fingerprints on the driver's side of the door. They also found a DNA on the gear stick of the car. So they sent the car to be tested for fingerprints. They found out that the fingerprints and DNA from Todd's car belonged to Leslie Jenea. Jenea had earlier on said she never drove that car, and she couldn't drive a manual car. They also found a picture of Jenea with the very murder weapon. When asked why her fingerprints got there, she said that she doesn't know how her fingerprints got there. Upon further investigations, the detectives looked into Todd's phone and they found out that she was having an affair with his ex-fiancee, Carrie Williams. The two had gotten back together in the year 2012 and were sending to each other flirty messages, and Carrie was sharing her explicit photos with Todd. So the investigators went to interview Carrie Williams. Carrie told the investigators that she hadn't spoken with Todd for months, and on the morning of Todd's murder, she was out of town with her daughter and her friend. They went for a trip at Mission San Juan Capistrano. She even provided the investigators with parking ticket. Carrie was therefore ruled out as a suspect in Todd's death. The investigators went back to the crime scene to look for witnesses and also see if they can find some CCTV footage to help them catch Todd's killer. They were lucky to find some witnesses and CCTV footages, which gave them some lead. 4 days later, on August 29th, they arrested Jenea, and while she was in custody, Todd's father, Travis, was showed all the CCTV footages, and they asked him if he recognized anyone in the footage. Unfortunately, he didn't recognize anyone. Jenea was also shown all the footages, and investigators asked her if she recognized the woman in the footage. She said she didn't have any idea who the woman was. They started questioning her about Todd's murder, and she refused to speak to them. She requested for a lawyer, and it was at this point that she was arrested on suspicion for her husband's murder. After Todd's death, the insurance company decided to give out Todd's life insurance policy money to his family. The money was $500,000. However, Todd's parents went to court to prevent Jenea from receiving the money because they believed she murdered her husband Todd. The money was instead given to her children. On the 1st of December 2016, Jenea was rearrested and charged with first-degree murder of her husband, Todd Chance. The investigators went to Todd Chance's house, searching and taking all the evidence that they could. They took the computer. They also took a bunch of pictures. Jenea's eldest daughter, Jessica, was brought to the police station for questioning. While in the interrogation room, they showed Jessica the surveillance videos of what they believed was her mother. The investigators asked her if the woman in the footages was her mother. She just broke down. She said she believed it was Jenea in that video, and she also said that the backpack she was wearing in that footage looked familiar to her. It was also at this point that Travis changed his opinion. He said he recognized the woman in CCTV footage to be Jenea. However, Sarah and Samantha did not believe that their mother had anything to do with the murder. They believed that their mother was completely innocent, and Jessica ended up changing her opinion after seeing how her siblings defended their mother. She was wrong. She was confused with the footages they were showing her. The CCTV footages were of poor quality. They were very grainy, and after reviewing the footage and all the other evidence, the prosecutor decided that they didn't have enough hard evidence to be able to take Jenea to trial, so they decided to release her after 5 days. However, she was still the prime suspect. After 3 years later, Leslie Jenea Chance was arrested and charged with the murder of her husband on December of 2016, and her trial began on the 9th of December 2019. During the trial, prosecutors said Leslie Jenea killed her husband because of an alleged affair and for financial reasons. They argued the couple was spending far beyond their means and that if Jenea killed Todd, she would receive thousands in life insurance. However, the jury did not find Chance guilty for financial motivation. Although Jenea's defense attorney tried to argue that it couldn't be her in the surveillance videos because Jenea needed to wear glasses and didn't own contacts or prescription sunglasses, prosecutors introduced evidence that Jenea had ordered 2 boxes of contacts the month before Todd's death. In the end of January 2020, after trial and 8 days of deliberating, the jury found Jenea guilty of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to 25 years life imprisonment on the 6th of September 2020. She received an additional 25 years to life for a firearms enhancement. Despite this, she still maintained her innocence. She appealed her conviction, but the verdict was upheld in January 2023. She is currently behind bars at the Central California Women Facility.